All right, let's start this. It's been nearly 20 minutes.
Alrighty.
How do we start?
I don't know. I could do the attempt at your accent and do your intro.
Go on, then. I am excited. Do that.
All right. Let me know when we're started.
We've already started. I've decided we started a while back now. This is gonna be fun. Yeah.
Let me see. You're gonna make fun of me, but
yeah.
What's up, my H2 bros? Hope you're happy and hydrated as fuck. Today we're going to be talking with Suspicious Dishes and Not Greg.
Oh, I fucking love it. That was incredible. I mean, it was. See, I wanted to drop Russell Coight reference, but I don't know if you'd know who Russell Coight is.
I would not.
I'm probably going to alienate a lot of Australian people by saying this. I don't truly know who Russell Coight is. I know he did like a TV show in, I think, the late 90s or early 2000s.
Okay.
I think it was like a wildlife show or something. I don't particularly know. But he was very like what we call ochre, which is like very like that stereotypical Australian kind of thing. You know, they talk like real like up here, like mate, yeah, fucking yeah. Like it was kind of like that. But there was also, he would do this really fucked up thing, and I know it was a joke, but he goes up to an Aboriginal fella, like an Indigenous Australian, and he goes to shake his hand, and it's in the wide shot, and then it cuts to a close-up of the hands shaking, and it's two white guys shaking their hands, and it cuts back out to the wide, and it was like, what the fuck? And apparently I haven't seen the full show, but apparently every single time he shook someone's hand, they would use the exact same close-up, even if it was completely out of context and shit. He'd be like on a boat or like reeling in a fucking marlin or something, he'd shake someone's hand, it'd be like this outback shot of him shaking some white dude's hands.
That's awesome.
But that was cool. Where did you learn how to do the Australian accent?
Just from, learn how to do a facsimile of the Australian accent just from watching videos. And so I watch most of your videos. Sometimes I can't quite keep up, but I try to watch most of those.
Oh, thank you.
And I have been watching Star Saga lately. I've watched a few of theirs. Those are fun.
Huge shout out to Star Saga. I fucking love those dudes.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
Oh yeah, we're on a podcast. Shout out to the
yeah, man. I fucking
guys.
They're super cool, man. I talk to Ben all the time as well. This fucking top dude, and I love the shit they do. They're like I have like the two sides. I've got the Star Saga boys on one side and Suspicious Dishes boys on the other side. And I get the Australian and the American versions of like the brothers playing video games, Let's Plays, and it's so fucking cool. But man, I remembered before a bit earlier on today. Oh, is my alarm gonna go off? No, I don't want an alarm to go off. I rewatched your Hollow Knight review, man, just to rewatch it because I remember fucking loving it. I watched it again. I was just in fucking stitches the whole time, man. It was so fucking great. But I guess I was watching it. You said Logan doesn't let you swear when you're recording. Is that true?
So that was kind of more for the bit. On our actual channel, I usually also try and censor myself because I mean, if you're looking for two guys making jokes, swearing a lot, and playing a game, then you've already got the Game Grumps, and they're wildly successful.
Star Saga.
Or Star Saga, yeah. But I think Star Saga's got their own thing because they also have the brothers, and it's Australian, and so I think we were just kind of initially thinking like, okay, well, at least this early on, we don't really want to alienate much of a audience base, so we decided, okay, we'll go with more of a family-friendly kind of something that if it's not made for kids or anything like that. Obviously, some of the stuff we talked about, I talked about alcoholism in one of the Outer Wilds episodes, but like, but just so that if like a parent hears their kid watching it, it's not going to be like, oh fuck, shit, damn, bitch, like anything like that. Have fun editing the podcast.
Oh, dude, I'm Australian. You've seen my videos and stuff. I don't give a fuck about swearing. Like, swearing is such a second nature thing. Like, I'll be having a chat with, like, my mom, and I'll be like, so this fucking dude came over and he fucking said this thing. And it's just so fucking pissed. It's not really much to us here, so I don't really want to kind of put that in, like, anything that I make. And I was watching Jacksepticeye. You know Jacksepticeye?
Yeah,
so I was watching a thing and he was talking about like demonetization, and someone asked him like if he was worried about being demonetized for swearing, and he said something that kind of really resonated with me, and he was like, if I get demonetized for swearing, I think that's really fucked up because I'm Irish. And I feel like that would be racist towards Irish people. And I was like, that's exactly the same for fucking Australian. We're just Southern Hemisphere Irish people. Like, you can't have a conversation with someone in Australia without them fucking swearing. Like, I bought a washing machine yesterday, and literally the dude that sold me the washing machine, every second word was fuck. It's like, it's fucking hot out here, man. The fucking, I'm gonna take the kids out to fucking lunch or something. And it's like, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna have. And it's just nothing. So when I have like a conversation with like an American or something, and I get really nervous because I'm like, I know it's not a thing, particularly with some of the harsher words as well. I don't know if you're adverse to some of the harsher ones, but
I'm a fan of the harsher words.
I'm gonna piss the people off with the C word. You know the C word?
The C word.
The C word. You're a cunt.
Yeah, I love that word. Yeah.
I was recording with Crash Test Genius. Another shout out. Big shout out to Crash as well. I love Crash. We did a collab together. Sorry.
You guys did, or that was Gem, you did Doki Doki with Crash Test Genius, you did...
Gunfire Reborn.
Right. Yeah. I don't actually think I've seen those ones yet.
Oh man, he's such a fucking good dude. But yeah, we were recording through them, and I was like, I want to apologize if I accidentally say cunt or something, because like it's such a common word in Australia. He was like, we don't care about that, it's fine. I was like, oh shit, all right, cool. I'm off the chains.
I worked I worked in a steel yard in Colorado, and it's really funny because, like you're saying, in Australia or in Ireland, the swearing, it's no big deal. Like a fucking politician could spend half the time cussing and nobody would care.
Oh man, they have those videos in like the Parliament House with the politicians talking to each other every once in a while. You shut the fuck up, you dinosaur. You're like, all right, cool.
I love those videos. I kind of wish we had that in the States. But yeah, so at the steel yard, like, it's so different from like everyday life. So like I worked at the same time, I was working in the steel yard, and then I went and worked at Bass Pro Shops, which is so fucking American. But so Bass Pro Shops is like the outdoors. I don't know if you know of them, but they do like the outdoors hunting, fishing.
How do you spell it?
BASSPROSHOPS. And it's such a redneck thing. I mean, I love the store because it's fun. You go in, there's like taxidermed animals. There's a big fucking wall of guns. There's a fishing hut and all this other stuff. It's pretty cool. I didn't mind working there. It's customer service, and
yeah,
no matter what you do with customer service, it's gonna suck.
It's a fucking nightmare, man. I've done it for the past like 12 years since I like entered the workforce at like 16. I've only ever worked with like customer service jobs or like customer facing jobs. And man, it's a fucking nightmare. I got to a point where I worked at like a liquor store, right? Because we have like in Australia, it's very specialized. Like you don't sell liquor in like gas stations or supermarkets or anything. You have to only sell them in liquor shops. And I worked there for 4 years, and I got to the point at the end of the 4 years where I was just like fucking done with anyone that was just going to be a prick to me. And it got so bad where I'd get into like screaming matches with customers, but I would only ever call people out on their bullshit. Like I wouldn't like just get aggressive at people for being a dick. I'd be like, no, what you're doing is like wrong. That's not how you're supposed to act towards other people in public. You can't do that. And people would get so shitty. And it's like, yeah, I'm a customer service person, but I'm also human. If you're going to act like a fucking dick, I'm going to call you on it. I'm not just going to be like, yeah, just have a nice day. Yeah, thank you. Leave a 5-star review on our Yelp page, please. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. I think that's a big issue in the States too. Is like everything is so customer oriented. Like you've always got the customer's always right, and like the number of times people would come in and just be throwing a bitch fit and demanding like, oh well, you sold us this and it's broken. It's like we don't even have that product. Like what are you talking about? And they would be like, I want to speak to your manager. And the manager would come over, and even if you're completely in the right, they'd be like, I'm so sorry, how can I help you? Like,
yeah.
It's like,
I always hate that.
But they don't have that here. They don't have that in Germany.
Really?
And everyone in the customer service industry is a dick. So.
Oh, dude, I've actually always really desired to go to Germany. There's something about it. I just want to go to Germany. I just want to visit there or live there or fucking something. There's something pulling me there that I just want to go visit. This romantic idea about it. You might have just sold me on that idea alone, because I fucking hate working customer service. That customer is always right. I wholeheartedly disagree with that at every shape and form. I'll give you an example of one of the most fucked up instances when I was working at oh shit, I just knocked off my windshield.
Your windshield?
My the little sock. Hold on. Okay, we're back.
On the microphone?
Yeah, we're back. I just knocked off the microphone thing. Blew out the audio. So yeah, I was working at the liquor shop, right? And this woman came in, and she's like, I want this particular brand of cider. I was like, I'm sorry, we don't sell that cider here, but look, there's a shop literally 50 meters up the road. I'll give him a call, and I'll put aside a carton just for you. So I'll let him know you're coming. We'll put aside the carton. You just duck up 50 meters up the road and grab that one. And she lost her fucking mind. She started screaming at me, yelling at me, no, I want to buy it from here. I'm like, it's literally 50 meters up the road. It's a one-way street as well. So when she's leaving this place, she's driving that way anyway.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, we don't stock it here. And she's like, well, you tell your manager that you need to order it in and order it into the store. And I was like, okay, I'll mention something, but even my manager's not in charge of what the fuck we stock in the shop. She comes back a week later, rinse, repeat, exact same conversation. I was like, I told you this last week, we don't stock this product. The shop that's 50 meters up the road. It was kind of stupid. There was 3 liquor stores, the exact same chain. 3 within 100 meters. It was actually ludicrous. They ended up shutting one down because it became redundant. And I was like, literally, just go up there. I'll put it aside for you. I'll let them know. She's like, no, I want to buy it from here. And I just ended up turning around going, actually, you know what? Go away. You're not welcome in the store anymore. Leave. She's like, I'm going to come back and talk to your manager. I was like, good, fucking do it. You're in the wrong here. The customer is not always right. In this instance, you are fucking wrong. You're going out of your way to be a dick to me. And I'm not just going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. I'm not going to materialize a carton of cider out for you. Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry for
and
ranting.
I think that's, no, you're good. I think that side of the customer's always right stuff, that's so frustrating. And because I did work in the customer service, it's super nice that they don't have it here. But it's also just so jarring. In the US, you've got that faux friendliness, right? Everyone's like, oh, Americans are so friendly. Most Americans you meet on the street don't give a fuck about you. Yeah. But it's they will still say, oh, hey, how's it going? Nice day, great weather, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember.
Germany can not have that.
Not at all. Even customer service people, they're just like, what the fuck do you want in your sandwich? Hurry up.
Yeah. They're like, what do you want? Cheese? Got it. What kind? All right, here you go. It's so... that's why you get the stereotype of rude Germans, and they're not being rude. They're doing their fucking job. They're just not going above and beyond to make you feel like they're your best friend in the whole world, which is nice, but it also feels kind of rude.
It is incredibly rude. And I remember when I first got into the workforce and stuff, and I remember I was working at a Subway, and I was out the back doing the dishes or some shit, and the manager comes in, and he was just like fuming. He was like just absolutely on fire with rage. I can't remember for the life of me remember what, but he was just this cranky motherfucker, like slamming shit, doing all this stuff. Customer walks in, he walks out the front. G'day, sir. What can I do for you today? Oh, you want this sandwich? And I just remember looking at it, I was like, this is the fakest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, I just lost respect, like all respect for you. And I know you got to put on the fake smile and stuff. And I was like, it's not his fault that he's just like technically doing his job, that he has to put on that smiley face. But I was like, man, I don't agree with this. I don't think I don't think if you're having a shit day, you should take it out on customers. Like it's not the dude who walks in fault if something's fucked up at the back. But I mean, you shouldn't just be like, hey, sir, how you going? And then as soon as the customer's gone, he's back to fucking terrorizing me about something, you know?
I had a supervisor at Bass Pro. He's one of my good friends now. Shout out to Nolan if he's watching.
Hi, Nolan.
But yeah.
Sorry for saying fuck so
great
much.
Guy. Oh, no. He does not care.
Well,
he
fucking knows.
This guy's like 6'5". He's fucking huge. But he, I guess, I think he's 2 meters something. No. Like 195, I guess. But,
yeah, did you say 6'5" is not 2 meters?
Yeah, I had to think about it. I was like, wait a second, no, I'm 187. That's not right. But yeah, like I worked there for, I don't know, like a little under a year. And at one point, I just remember like some customers came in and he was dealing with like a bunch of shit. Some of our cashiers called out, somebody fucked up the till, and like he's just pissed. And I remember there was this customer came up and asked for like the dumbest thing. I can't remember what it was. He like came up and was like, hi, where can I get hunting stuff? And Nolan was like, I don't actually know if we should say his name, but he was like, yeah, so see over there, there's that big fucking sign that says hunting on the wall? Yeah, it's gonna be right under that.
That was like 90% of the time at the fucking liquor shop too. We'd have these big signs at the top of each of the fucking aisleways that would say like vodka or like red wine, Chardonnay. People are like, excuse me, where could I find a Cap 7A? And you're like, just where it says it on the fucking sign. And it was especially worse with like the price tags and stuff as well. They'd be like, how much is this? And you look at the price tag that they're pointing at and you're like, it's $12. And they're like, oh, okay. And you're like, fuck's sake. Like,
the sticker that says $12? Yeah, that's a good tip.
I would always be a bit of a dick about it. I would like grab the sticker and look intensely at it for like a minute and then be like, it's $12. And they would always give me the dirtiest look like, oh, you're such an asshole. And I'm like, you're the motherfucker that asked me. What's the point of the fucking price tags then? Like, if you're not gonna fucking read the things.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
I'm gonna hold on to that if that ever happens to me.
So you're not working at the moment, or are you just studying?
I am working. I'm working as an English instructor at a language school here. So that's kind of fun.
Are you teaching English to like Germans?
Mm-hmm. Or Turks, or I think I had a Russian time.
That's really cool. So are you fluent in German as well, or like passable?
I am fluent-ish. So on the scale of all of them, C2 is it's what you get if you can qualify as a native speaker level of fluent.
And that's what you are?
C1 is C1 is the one below that, where you are fluent but not native, and that's where I am.
That is so fucking cool, man. Is that why you decided to go to university in Germany, or did you learn the language because you got accepted?
No. So I spoke German. We lived in Germany for a while. My dad was stationed over.
Oh,
and,
okay.
I actually didn't learn any German in Germany. But my brother did. He was going to German kindergarten and first grade. And then we moved Mexico, and there's a German Air Force base out there. So,
What?
we got Logan enrolled in a German school, and then they realized that us Americans were willing to pay money to go to their school, and they were like, well, why don't you go to the German school too? And I was like, because I don't speak German. And so they went, that's not a problem, you'll figure it out. So
you'll figure it out. You're fine. Just shut up, go.
Yeah, exactly. So halfway through 8th grade, I quit the middle school I was at. I was student body president in 8th grade, and then like halfway through the semester, or halfway through the school year, was like, all right, peace out, I'm out. And went to the German school halfway through 8th grade, and then I just was fucking drowning for at least a semester or two. And then finally I started picking it up and being like, okay, now I would stop translating things so much in my mind as listening.
Yeah.
And then I graduated the German high school 10th grade, and then
that is so fucking cool, man. I'm so envious. I've tried my whole life to learn languages, but I'm one of those people that if I don't get it within 2 weeks, I'm fucking done with it, you know? I was like, I'll try crunches for 2 weeks, and if I can't do crunches after 2 weeks, I'm like, well, it's fucking useless. This is bullshit. Everyone lies to me. And I'm the same with languages. Like,
oh, you'll get abs if you do crunches. Fucking A, right, I will. I've tried for at least 7 days, and I don't have a 6-pack, so this is clearly fucking worthless.
That is literally me. And it's so fucked up having that mindset, because like you've got that like really loud voice on one side, like this is bullshit, this fucked up. But then you got the other voice in your head, like you realize it takes longer than this. Like this is a time thing. You need to put more effort to it. And it's just like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And you just fight with yourself, and then you go, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna have some cake. And then everyone's like, yeah, all right. Cool.
Yeah, I've been watching there's a YouTube channel that I particularly enjoy. It's called How to ADHD.
Ooh.
And I definitely have ADHD. I haven't really been secretive about it on our channel either, but it's when I got tested as an adult, because as a kid my parents were always like, oh, we don't want to close any doors, so we're not going to get you tested. So I just kind of struggled through until military fell out, and then I was like, all right, well, I've had 2 hip surgeries, I'm not going back to the military, I might as well get tested. The guy said I was in the 2nd percentile of attention span for my age group.
Is that bad or is that good?
Oh, that's very bad. That's very, very bad. So like, I have, or essentially, if I understand it completely correctly, I have 2% of the average intelligence or average attention span for my age group.
Intelligence. That is fascinating, because I find a lot of very successful YouTubers, particularly like Let's Players, seem to have ADHD, and it seems to be such a common thing. You look at like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Aaron from the Game Grumps, even like Crank Gameplays, even down to like Star Saga as well. Like, and yourself, like ADHD seems to be a very common thing. And I think it's like the interactability of like video games and stuff is like constantly moving, like you're constantly doing things. It's challenging. And
yeah, for sure. And the ADHD YouTube I was telling you about, she explains like, why is it that ADHD people or ADHD brains who can't focus on doing homework, like not are lazy or don't want to, but literally physically cannot focus on doing homework or studying or doing something like this. Why is it that video games, they can sit and play video games for 8.5 hours? And I was felt a little personally attacked by it, but it was the feedback thing. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about with working out and languages, is with, I think with everyone, and then according to that channel, especially with ADD or ADHD, that feedback is super important. So saying, oh, I will get a reward in 6 months is not enough to make your brain go, yeah, this is worth it.
Yeah,
you have to have
definitely.
like something immediate.
I think like this is actually kind of awakening something inside me, because I've never thought before if I have like ADHD or anything like that, but like it does sound a lot like me. Like the only way I can really focus and like do things for a prolonged period of time. Like take YouTube, for example. I've been doing that for 6 months now. And I think the only way that I've managed to actually keep it up for 6 months is because it's like video games. You know, I'm playing video games and it's these constant things that are like keeping me like going all the time. But I don't know. I don't know if I have ADHD. Now I'm really concerned. I should probably check it out. But I mean, I'm nearly 28.
Wake up call here.
I mean, that would explain a fucking lot in my life if I was, because I can't focus on anything if it's not like that reward-based sort of thing, like movies or video games. But even then, when I'm watching a movie, I'll still pull out my phone and shit. I don't know if that's like a common thing that other people do. But I'll still like, I'll be completely engaged. Like I was watching fucking Bill Burr just before, a stand-up special. It's fucking amazing. And I'm still laughing and then like engaged in what he's doing, but I'm fucking texting, I'm swiping through fucking Facebook or fucking whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I've got this hilarious comedian telling me these fucking jokes. Why do I still need to swipe? But I don't know if that's like the social media conditioning and shit that's got me on that. I don't know.
It could be. I think. Oh, sorry, the audio cut out a little bit there. I think it could be the social media thing. But it's also like I don't use Facebook, and I only use Twitter because I would like to keep doing something for the channel while Logan and I are still kind of on hiatus.
Yeah.
But like that's legitimately the only reason I got Twitter and signed up for it, is because I was like, all right, everyone says you have to do Twitter and you have to do like all this stuff, but I'm not a big social media guy other than Reddit, the anti-social social media.
I was very much the same, because like Twitter is not a thing in Australia. Like Australians aren't tweeters. It's very much an American thing, and I think some of like Europe and stuff. Like nobody, I think one person that I know like in my immediate friend group has Twitter, but outside of that, the only people that I really know through Twitter are like other Let's Players like yourself or like Ben from Star Saga. And it's not a thing here. Like you ask the average Australian person, oh, what's your Twitter handle? And like, I don't fucking use Twitter. Like, add me on Facebook. What are you doing? Or like, add me on Instagram. We'll chat there. It's like, yeah, but I want to tweet you. They're like, I don't care. It's just not a thing. So yeah, I literally only got Twitter when I started up the channel as well. And even then, I barely use it. I literally just like share when a video comes out, because apparently that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, that's how you're supposed to get your name out there. I don't know if it's working, but whatever.
Yeah, I looked at it the other day, and so I haven't, because we haven't been posting, I haven't been sharing any of my videos on Twitter. But like I've been doing the, kind of like I look at YouTubers like Gus Johnson and Eddie Burback, those kinds of guys. Great channels, by the way. But
we're doing lots of shout outs. I love it.
Oh, I know. And but their Twitter is usually like not necessarily related to their channel or their videos. They just tweet funny shit. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool way of doing it. Like you have your own group on Twitter that's like, oh, hey, I like these jokes, and then maybe they do the channel, or people from the channel go to the Twitter. So like I kind of like that. I will share videos when I post them, but like that's what I've been trying to do with Twitter. The difficult thing with Twitter is like with Reddit, it does not matter if you have followers. If you get lucky and enough people like what you post, it hits the top page. I drew some shitty pencil and colored pencil sketch one time, and it was a Skyrim joke, and I posted that on Reddit, and it ended up getting like 48,000 votes.
Oof.
Yeah, I was writing that for a couple months.
Yeah, but yeah, see, with you like Twitter, like it's got to be like a searchable thing that people are like searching for, that they want to read people's opinions about. So I think like hashtags and like keywords are very important. Kind of like the SEO that you'll have on like YouTube videos. It's got to be very particular to what people are going to search for. Compared to like Reddit, which you've got a very specialized communities and stuff that you'll like post things in, or like you said, getting to the top, the first page and stuff like that. I just don't do social media, man. I can't do it. I want to like be the person that posts like funny jokes and shit on my Twitter, but then I sit there and I'm like, I don't have anything fucking funny to say. Like, usually if I say anything that's like remotely funny, it's just in the moment, and I'd forget about it 20 minutes later.
That's what I've been trying to do with it. It's just like, if I think of something funny, I'll be like, okay, and then I pull out my phone and quick type it out, and then I set it for a minute and then come back and see, okay, is that actually funny, or am I just a dumbass?
That is fascinating, man. That's something that I kind of employ a similar sort of tactic, because like I write on the side as well. Did you end up watching my web series that I posted?
I watched a few of the episodes, and then a lot of them came out while we were up at the lake, so I did the rest of them. So I did enjoy the first ones that I did see.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I've got a degree in film, and I like to make films and shit. So I do like writing when I can come up with ideas and shit. But I have this practice, and I actually got it from a Mitch Hedberg joke. You know Mitch Hedberg?
Yeah. I fucking love Mitch Hedberg.
Oh man, he was amazing. But he told this joke. He was like, if I'm like sitting in like a hotel room and I'm laying down in bed, and I think of a joke, and my paper and pen is on the other side of the room, I have to convince myself that the joke wasn't funny, so I don't have to get up and go write it down. And I was like, that's fantastic. That's such a fucking great idea. So I started employing that in my life, when because I'll come up with a fucking new film idea every single fucking day. And there's only so much time in the day. I can't write 60,000 fucking scripts. So I'll come up with this idea, and I'll literally sit there for like an hour and a half trying to convince myself that it's a horrible fucking idea. And if I can't do it, I'm like, fuck, okay, I gotta write it down. And then I write it down and I start doing it. It's a good way to live your life. Anyone out there?
Do you ever write out a comment on? So you're pretty active on Reddit as well. But like, do you ever write out a comment on something, or somebody asks a question on an Ask Reddit, and you're like, oh hey, I can answer this, and you get like halfway through writing a comment, and you're like, nobody cares. Delete it.
Literally so many times, particularly on like fucking YouTubers or something like that, where like the small creators kind of things. People ask a question like, oh, what does CTR mean? And I'll type it. I'm like, oh, CTR means like the click-through rate. It means when people. I'm like, who the fuck can't do? Just Google it. Like, I don't. Yeah. Why you've gone through more effort to ask the question on Reddit than it would be to just Google the thing? Like, I'm not gonna answer this fucking dude. Like, because when I first started on Reddit, I wanted to be like that guy, you know. I wanted to be the really helpful person. So I'd come in, I'd be like, yeah, this is what it is, and I'd send these like big like paragraphs explaining all these different things. I'm like, yeah, have a great day, good luck with your channel and shit. And people would just reply with like, thanks. Or like a thumbs up.
That's so frustrating.
Like, man, I went through so much effort for something that you could have just Googled, and instead I've Googled and I've done research to give you this like full question, and I'm just not fucking doing it anymore. I'm not that active on Reddit anymore because I just got so frustrated with it.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
That's fair.
And
I use Reddit like on my own, even and not dealing with the channel stuff. So like, I use the SuspiciousSdishes Reddit handle, or like just my own, and like just using it online. And so like my thinking is, if I comment on the post, or I do something funny or say something funny, even if it has nothing to do with YouTube, nothing to do with videos or gaming or Let's Play, like there's a chance that someone on Reddit clicks on it and goes, oh hey, they have videos, and then they do that. So that's essentially, because Reddit is vindictive as hell.
Oh yeah. It's a fucking...
And if you say something wrong, they'll go into your entire post history and downvote everything. But if you say something right, they'll go into your entire history and upvote everything.
That's something that fucking terrifies me about social media. It's something I've realized like recently, like I use like dating apps as an example, like Tinder or what have you.
Yeah.
I think I have a very particular way of like talking. I think when I tell a joke, I've got a very like particular like silliness to the way I speak. You can kind of tell it's a joke by the way that I say a particular word or something like that. And you take that and you translate that into text, and it doesn't fucking work. And it can read as really weird or very off-putting or something like that. And that's what terrifies me about like social media, that I'll write something down and people will completely misinterpret it because there's no like vote of like body language or tone of voice to it, which is why I like doing Let's Plays, because I can act like a dickhead and you can tell that I'm a joke you can tell that I'm a joke. You can tell that I'm telling a joke by what I'm saying. It's a Freudian slip.
Bit of a Freudian. Yep.
Not even Freudian. I'm well aware I'm a joke. My whole existence is a joke, like saying, "Not Greg." Hi, I'm not Greg, which is.
Where did that come from, by the way?
I never wanted to tell this story.
Okay.
I'm going to. I'm going
Right.
to. I think because this is quite different from the channel itself, the YouTube channel. I kind of want to like differentiate the two things, and like that's more of a performance. This is more just like me as me, like having a chat and shit. So I think it's more of an honest, and I want to be honest. You know, people ask me questions on this podcast and shit. I want to be honest and authentic about it. So I will tell you the story. It was around like coming out of university and stuff. I always had this like really fantastical idea of like starting like a production company. You know, I kind of idolized like Rooster Teeth, and I wanted to have like all my friends that I was going to uni with, you know, like this guy's a cinematographer, this guy's a sound guy, this guy's an editor, you know, I'm a director, writers. We could get together and form our own little production company and just make short films and do it that way, you know? And I always had this romantic idea. So all through university, I was like trying to start up these little production companies, and they would never fucking work or anything like that. They would always fall through because people just weren't as invested in it. People didn't want to do film because they realized there's no fucking money in it. There's no money in doing YouTube or anything like that. Like, well, fuck, I'm gonna go become a carpenter, man. I'll build a fucking chair and I'll survive off that. So one time I'd gotten a group together, we're kind of working things through, and we're trying to come up with a name. Like, what the fuck are we gonna call this thing? We're like spitballing all these names, throwing them back and forth. And then my partner at the time, she's like, what if we call it Greg? Like not Greg Productions, just Greg. And I was like, Not Greg Productions. That's brilliant. And she's like, no, just Greg. And I'm like, no, Not Greg Productions. That's fantastic. It's brilliant. It brings up this question, who the fuck is Greg? I have no idea, but I'm not Greg. I'm like, that's brilliant. And she was so pissed off, and that was like fucking 3 or 4 years ago. And it's just stuck with me ever since then. I was like, it made me laugh. It always makes me laugh thinking about it. And particularly with like the response on like YouTube or like Twitter or something like that. Like I spoke to the, I think it was the dev from Haiku the Robot. I like posted something. He was like, thanks, Greg. I'm like, I'm not Greg. That's not my fucking name, dude. And everyone still thinks my name is Greg. It really isn't. And that's what really makes me laugh. Where I'm like, hi, I'm not Greg. My name is not Greg. Everyone's like, your name's Greg, are you? You're fucking pulling my chain.
So, you cheeky bastard.
You cheeky fucker. Yeah, so that's the story behind Not Greg. Finally being told after 6 months on YouTube. So, yeah, what's the story behind Suspicious Dishes? What's the thing there? Because that's obscure as well.
It's much less of an interesting story. I worked at a call center in Colorado as well, and it wasn't like a normal call center, so I wasn't trying to sell shit or anything, which is good because I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. It was putting captions on people's phones, so people who are hard of hearing could get a government subsidized phone with a screen, and then it was super creepy because I would listen in to the phone call, and the computer would be tuned to my voice. So I would hear one side of the phone call and just repeat every word into the microphone, and then it would print that into text and send it to the customer's screen.
So it's like a primitive like text to speech, speech to text, like before.
Well, we had. Well, no. This is in the past couple of years. It's pretty advanced. It uses Dragon, and it was a cool job. I just didn't. One, it was boring as hell. But two, like the company, I won't say the actual company.
Yeah.
But like they, at least the branch where I was, they focused a lot less on maintaining employees and focused a lot more on getting new employees trained.
Yeah.
So like you started off and everything was okay, and then like your supervisor would be like, oh hey, just so you know, like try and keep from being distracted while on call. It's fine if like just try not to. You might get in trouble, but everyone does it a little bit. Just try and keep it to a minimum.
Just fucking
and then,
focus,
like,
mate. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And then like 3 months later, they're like, do you have your work chat up right now while you're on a call? You can only do that between calls. I'm like, I have 10 seconds max between calls. You think I'm gonna deal with the work chat between call? No, fuck you. So I actually got in a lot of trouble because I would like draw. I had never been an artist kind of person, and I was watching The Odd Ones Out, probably during a call. But so I was watching his stuff, and I was like, you know, I'm not good at drawing, but like I can totally draw little fluffy marshmallow dudes. It's like a step up from stick figures.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not to like minimize the stuff that Odd Ones Out does. He does a lot of really impressive stuff, but I was like, you know what? I'm stuck at a cubicle for fucking 8 hours a day. I'm just gonna get good at this. So I sat down, I got a sketchbook and was just drawing while on calls, and I got in so much trouble that I started doing comics. And I was like, oh, a comic has to have a name. So I couldn't think of one. And initially I went with The Futility of Existence.
Ooh.
Which,
I like that.
is one. I like it too, but it's a mouthful, and it's kind of like I'm 14 and this is deep, or some wannabe edgy shit. So I did that for a while, and after I misspelled futility like 47 times, I was like, all right, I don't really care. I just have this for now. And then I was on a call, and I was so tired, and I was just drawing something, and like I was kind of mumbling a little bit. And somebody on the phone said superstitious, and I said superstitious, and or something to that effect, and the computer printed suspicious dishes. And I don't know why. I think it was because I was so tired, but I laughed for a solid 5 minutes about that. The rest of the call was just garbage because I was just laughing. And I had no idea. Like it's not even like the words "suspicious dishes" aren't even like that funny in and of themselves. I don't know what it was, but it just cracked me the fuck up. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm doing that. So I put it on my comics from there on, and made the Reddit so I could share them. But then when Logan and I were making the channel, I said, well, we could just do suspicious dishes. And he was like, no, I kind of want to do like something that's ours, like not jumping off of your comics or drawings or anything. Like I want to do something that's ours. I was like, that's fair. So we spent about 3 hours like brainstorming fucking names, trying to come up with something that was catchy and like easy to say and spell, and something that wasn't like super boring. Like you've got Slimesicle, his videos are fucking hilarious. The more shout outs, we're just doing all the shout outs.
All the shout outs.
You've got like, and I mean, at the time we hadn't met you, but like we were like, okay, Game Grumps, they've got the alliteration, they know, it shows what they are. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, we're like, bros, like, and half of the time it ended up coming out
Bang
like
Bros.
A fucking Brazzers film, yeah. We were just so fucking frustrated, and we found a couple. I can't remember what they were now, but we found a couple. We were like, yes, that's awesome. Let's use this. And we searched it, and there's like 15 channels with that name.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck. So finally we got just so frustrated. I was like, look, we already have Suspicious Dishes. We have the subreddit, we have the Reddit handle, we have the Instagram. We have all this stuff already for Suspicious Dishes. We can do that if you're okay. And he was like, yeah, I guess that's fine. And now it's grown on us, and it's just kind of fun to say. So
I love it. I've always loved it. It's been one of those, like, it's one of those names where it triggers that kind of curiosity. You know, like, what the fuck does that mean? I want to watch these guys to figure out what it means. And then you don't know what it means, but you get to see your fantastic personalities and your chemistry and your rapport together, and then you stay for that. But it kind of triggers that, whew, and that's what I wanted with Not Greg as well. It triggers that kind of curiosity thing, and then people come, they're like,
it definitely does.
This guy's a bit of a dickhead. I'll just watch him for a little bit. But I think, yeah, it's a similar sort of story. You know, you're musing on these ideas and coming up with ideas for stuff like this. Like names is a fucking nightmare. Like I've been through so many different iterations before Not Greg of different production companies. I can't even for the life of me remember fucking half of them now. But yeah, and then you'll just stumble across something like Suspicious Dishes or Not Greg, and it's just that kind of light bulb moment where you're like, oh fuck, that's kind of cool. I like that. And it's fucking cool. I think I like that better than like picking something that was made by committee, you know, like if you guys picked something that you're just like, oh, how'd you come up with Suspicious Dishes? Oh, we just brainstormed for 3 hours and picked the one we liked the most. You're like, okay. But like I was doing like a speech to text thing and I accidentally said superstitious wrong. Like that's fucking awesome, dude. That's so cool. I Googled as well, Odd Ones Out, because I'm not actually too familiar with him. I can definitely see his influence in your style as well. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'll have to send you some of the pictures of my earlier drawings, because the newer ones, I still have that influence there. Like you've got the marshmallowy dudes, and but some of my earlier ones were honestly it was blatant fucking plagiarism. But like I was like, okay, I'm gonna get good at this, and then after a while of that I was like, okay, I don't really want to do the chubby marshmallow guys anymore. So I tried doing one with like slimmer, and I was like, okay, I kind of like the slimmer, but I don't like the slim hands. So I was like, okay, I'll do the chubby hands but like slim arms. And then at one point I added a nose, and that was fucking horrifying. So I stopped that.
Noses on cartoons is always like hit and miss. Sometimes it's fucking cool. Sometimes it's like, whoa, why'd you draw a dick on his face, man? What are you doing?
Exactly. So we ended up doing that. I mean, the drawings that I do, I'm still evolving the style, and a lot of it. Like I joined a tabletop or a pen and paper RPG game recently. Figured I'd give that a shot for the first time, so I'm officially a nerd now.
Oh hell yeah! Well, you did a cool drawing of Greg, my little frog friend. I shouldn't call him a friend actually.
Your rival, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So there's got to be some sort of Not Greg lore going on in the background like this.
That's giving him a bit more credit than I think he deserves.
Why the frog, by the way?
Oh man, see, you're making me give up all my secrets here.
Oh no!
See,
Save it for another podcast.
I shouldn't have said that I was going to be honest, because now I got to be honest. This is a far less exciting, actually, story.
Okay.
It was not too long after the Not Greg kind of revelation, where we decided to call the production company Not Greg Productions. And I was with my partner. We were driving to visit her parents, because her parents live like 2 hours away. So we're in the car driving there. You know, this fucking Australian country road is nothing, you know. Oh, look, there's a fucking cow. Oh, look over there's another fucking cow. It's pretty boring. So you kind of just stare out the window and zone out while listening to fucking Freebird or something. And there was a billboard, and I was driving past the billboards and shit, and there was just a billboard with a frog on it. And I kind of just looked at it, I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm just going to have a frog mascot. And that's literally it. I have no idea why. I'm not particularly fond of frogs. Like, they're not in the top 10 of my favorite animals. But it was just one of those things. I saw it, and it just kind of was like, yeah, that feels right. Okay, we'll put a frog on it. And
I love it.
I don't know why. To this day, that was like 4 years ago.
Well, that goes back to the like what we were saying about the channel names. Like, if you were like, okay, what's a cool animal? What's relatable? Like, what's something everyone knows? Okay, well, frogs are pretty cool. Like, I mean, they hop around and they have the iconic sound. Like, if you had done all that, it's like, I just like frogs. There you go. I did that with all this research. But like, you just passed the billboard and we're like, huh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was fucking. And then I kind of sat with that idea and I thought about like Not Greg, like why would I have the frog? And then it kind of came to the, you know, the prison lineup sort of thing. So yeah, I had a house. I was living with a housemate at the time, and his girlfriend was a pretty good like artist. So I was like, hey, could you fucking do like a little sketch for me? So she did up a little sketch, and then I took it to like a logo designer and got it done up, and then I just literally had this logo for fucking 4 years that I'd never used in anything apart from like the web series. It was used in the web series. It's like the outro thing. But aside from that, But aside from that, I just had this fucking logo, and that's when I lost my job at the start of the year due to COVID and shit. I was like, I've always wanted to do a fucking Let's Play channel. I'm gonna fucking do a Let's Play channel, man. I've got time. I'm a bit of a dickhead. I can make myself laugh. Maybe I can make other people laugh. Let's fucking do this shit, man. And I can use the frog and start Not Greg, and yeah. 6 months later,
so funny.
Here we are.
I love the fact that you had the design for 4 fucking years before using it. Like our logo for Suspicious Dishes, like we started the channel and I was like, okay, well it has to be round to fit in the little YouTube icon. And you know, I'll just do a little caricature of Logan and I fucked up on the lining of Logan's head, and I was like, all right, fuck it.
Really?
Adds a little, yeah. His head is a little more wobbly than mine, but he wasn't super thrilled about it. Yeah, he wasn't super thrilled about it, but I was like, I don't know, I kind of like it, so I just decided to keep it.
I've never noticed it, to be honest, because he's on like an angle, you know?
Yeah.
I just kind of thought it was
It's like one of those little hidden things, but I was just like, okay, I'll do a little caricature of us, and then Suspicious Dish. And then, because our channel does not have a space in the name, the logo is kind of wrong, because it's Suspicious on top and the dishes below, but everywhere we have it, it's Suspicious Dishes, one word.
It kind of works though, because it's very well balanced and everything. I was meaning to ask you before, why the fuck are you holding a sledgehammer? Is that a sledgehammer that you're holding?
When I designed it, it was like a war axe.
Oh, like Mjolnir. The Stormbreaker.
Yeah, like Stormbreaker. But the funny thing is, like, I don't have any particular affinity to big axes. So, like, even in Skyrim, I do bow and
you gotta
knife and stuff. But like, for some reason, when I was drawing, I was like, okay, Logan will be holding the controller, and then the controller is like fairly ambiguous, so it could be like almost any, but it's pretty much an Xbox controller.
It's kind of like an Xbox mixed with a PlayStation a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going with. Like, okay, the shape of a PlayStation and some of the buttons, so like, you know, it's a little more ambiguous. If I were to do it again, I might have done like a SNES controller, or like a Nintendo 64, something that's like classic but not alienating. And then I don't know what happened. I was just like, oh, just have my guy holding something over his shoulder. What's something cool to hold over your shoulder? I'll do an axe. Fuck it, why not? That's the story of the battle axe.
I fucking love it. I first thought, like, when I saw it and stuff, I thought like, oh, you know, he's, you know, beard, he's got like an axe or a sledgehammer or something, like maybe like you're a lumberjack, you know, that's like your day job, you know. And that's what I kind of assumed by that, but it actually, I think it works really nicely, because, you know, you've got you on one side, you've got a beard, you've got a sledgehammer, you've got Logan on the other side with the controller and his glasses, and it's kind of this nice like juxtaposition between the two of you that you can just look at that and like, okay, these are two different personalities that are going to be interacting with this particular thing. And I think that's what really draws me to it, that I'm like, oh, I really dig this. It's fucking cool, because you've got two distinct personalities, which I think is what really particular works with two main groups. You know, if you have two of the exact same personality, it's not going to fucking work. You need to have those kind of conflicting sides.
I really like that too, and I'd never thought of that.
See, man? Fucking pulling shit apart.
Looking, and you know, I've never thought about it. That was definitely not something that I had like in my archetype.
Yes, you did. It was completely
natural. It was all intentional and professional. But like looking, I've got it as my iPad lock screen,
Oh,
So
that's
I'm
fucking
looking
cute.
at it. I'm like, yeah, no, I can see that. I'm like reanalyzing my own work and like, huh, yeah, okay.
Man, I love doing that shit. But like I've like I said, I've got a degree in film and shit. And a big
Yeah.
part of that degree was like watching movies, like breaking them down and shit. And it goes back to that like classic thing when you're like in high school and you're like in the English class, literary class or whatever, and the teacher's like going into this intense monologue about the importance of the character's psyche because they have blue fucking curtains. And you're like, maybe the curtains were just blue. Like, it doesn't have to do with the psyche. You're completely overanalyzing anything. And that's
I
like...
was literally about to mention the blue curtain thing.
Fucking great minds, brother. Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's entirely the thing. You know, I've made a few films in the past, and it'd be the same sort of thing. You just kind of make something that just feels right artistically in the moment, and someone would be like, "Oh, I really like the way that you kind of did that thing, and it really brings out this kind of particular feeling about like hopelessness in the middle." And you're like, "Yes, that was intentional. I am smart at things. Yes, it was artistic." I think it's like 90% of movies and shit. I once did.
Have you seen? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Have you seen the movie In Bruges?
I have. I fucking love In Bruges. Oh,
It is one of my favorite movies of all time.
fantastic. Can we plug In Bruges as well? I do.
Yeah, plug In Bruges.
We're plugging like
fucking 20-year-old movie.
we're plugging like channels with millions of subscribers, and there's like
Yeah.
a multi-million-dollar fucking movie with like an Oscar-nominated director and fucking Colin Farrell. Like, go check them out. Yeah.
Thanks. And with Jacksepticeye, be sure. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Be sure to thank us for our contribution to your channel. But yeah, that's one of the things within Bruges. Like, I also fucking love overanalyzing things. So, like with movies, I'm like, oh, okay, so you see here, or most recently, not even within Bruges, like I convinced my roommate to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so we were watching that, and like he's like, okay, yeah, cool. It's a story. It's about this. And I'm like, oh man, like the lighting in this scene like shows, okay, this like shows Azula's descent into madness, and like you see the different hairstyles, and like, okay, this explains like she's losing it, and like I have to try so fucking hard to not be like, okay, see this scene right here, hit pause. Okay, so see how the background lighting is like.
Man, that's like I'm so much like that too. I once had to do a presentation at university. We had to like break down a film and just the classic, like we're talking about, like literally break it down, right? 15-minute presentation. So it's like, cool. So I picked this movie. We Need to Talk About Kevin. Have you seen that before?
I don't think I have.
Man, fucking, if you get a chance, check out We Need to Talk About Kevin. It is fucking phenomenal. But I kind of like watched it through the first time, and it's a very, like, you can watch it at the base level, and it's a good film. But it's a film that if you actually do start picking those shit out, it's a completely different film than you actually think it is. So I watched it through the first time, and I watched it the second time, and then I started noticing all these things. So I started just rewatching it and just like picking this movie apart. And then I ended up writing this entire thing, and I had a 45-minute fucking presentation on this movie about what this movie's all about. And I go to the teacher, and I'm like, you said you wanted like a 1-page write-up and a 15-minute presentation? I have a 45-minute presentation and a 20-page write-up. Is that okay? And he was like, no, that's not okay. I have shit to do on the weekend. Fucking fix it. And I was like, all right. So then I literally, my presentation, I'm like, this is a fifth of my presentation. I want you guys to know, if you want to learn more about this, come find me after. No one came and found me after, but I have all this useless knowledge on this fucking film. But definitely check it out. It's phenomenal, dude. Oh, so
I
fucking
for sure will.
Yeah. Well, I think we should.
Oh.
I was gonna wrap up, but you got another story?
Oh, I've just got one more film that's
Go on.
really cool from a filmmaking standpoint.
Lay it on me, man.
And then we can. Cool. And it's kind of silly because it's a comedy, but have you ever seen Hot Fuzz?
Hot Fuzz is fucking amazing, dude.
It's so good from so many different standpoints. Like, from just a movie, it's hilarious. From a comedy standpoint, the timing and the direction is fucking great. And then, like, you look at it from just like a literary or like a filmmaking perspective, and you're like, oh, So literally everything is foreshadowing?
Yeah.
Huh. And like, you're like, okay, so in a movie where somebody gets fucking crushed by a church spire or whatever,
Yeah.
and like dances around comically with blood flying everywhere, like, how is this movie more like impressive from a scholastic standpoint than like just so many of these other movies?
Fucking Edgar Wright is like, he's a student of the game. Like literally every single one of his movies you can pick apart to like the absolute tiniest part. My favorite, I think I prefer Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
That was another great one.
Because that movie is like incredible at transitions. Like if you want to transition a character from one scene to another, and it's fucking difficult to do. Like that's, I think, the thing that I struggle with most when writing is like, how do I get a character from this scene to this scene and make it kind of transition without it being just like, okay, I'm leaving, bye, next scene, hello, I'm here now. It's fucking tough. But
or
sorry?
You could go with the Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in the West and just show like 45 minutes of people driving.
I could do that.
Have you seen that one?
The latest one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
No.
Not Once Upon a Time in the West. Sorry, that was Scott McFarlane. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Sorry.
No, I'm a huge Tarantino fan, but I've kind of been very lazy the past couple of years. Like I only just about a week ago watched The Hateful Eight. That's how far behind I am.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It was okay. It was not my favorite Tarantino. There was a lot of issues that I had with it. I thought he set up for a really good plot twist and then just abandoned it, and that kind of annoyed me because I think he set up for the plot twist to be that Samuel Jackson and the sheriff were actually helping her. Like he lays all these fucking seeds for that to be the plot twist, but then he's just like, jokes, no, it's the boring way.
No.
Spoilers for The Hateful Eight, by the way, if you haven't seen it, like fucking, it's old now. Be fine.
Yeah, so my
Soil
favorite
greenest
Tarantino movie. It's like the Game Grumps episode with the spoiler owl.
Spoiler owl.
Aaron, you actually fucking spoiled something with spoiler owl, you dick.
Rosebud is the sled.
But my favorite Tarantino so far have been Inglourious Bastards, because they actually have German. Like the German that they speak is real. Like the number of movies where you see somebody speak German and it's just like, like
it's just gibberish.
Like it's just gibberish. Or where they
so
just completely
lazy.
abandon speaking German and pretend it's in German, you know, the filmmaking technique where you can just like do the suspension of disbelief thing.
Yeah. Where they all have English accents for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And but in Inglourious Bastards, I think like 40% of the movie is in German, and it's all real German.
I
so
fucking
good.
love Inglourious Bastards. That's my favorite Tarantino as well. I think it's just a fucking impeccable movie all the way through. We have to wrap up, but I got a fun fact to end us off on. You remember the Bear Jew? Played by Eli Roth?
Oh, Bear Jew. Okay, yeah.
Dude with the baseball bat. That part was actually written for Adam Sandler.
No.
Like, Tarantino wrote that part for Adam Sandler to play the Bear Jew. But when it came time to shooting, he couldn't do it. He couldn't match the schedule. So then Tarantino was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And, you know, he's good buddies with Eli Roth. Eli Roth was like, yeah, right, fucking, I'll do it. So then he stepped in to play the Bear Jew for Inglourious Bastards. So that's a fun
thank
fact.
God he did that.
No, dude, Sandler is a fucking phenomenal actor. If he's put in the right hands, he can be incredible. Like, you should check out Uncut Gems if you haven't seen that.
Let me write that one down too.
It's on Netflix. It's just come out recently.
Gems. Okay, because I've only seen the not serious stuff.
No, dude, it's phenomenal. It's by the Sadfi brothers. It's a fantastic brother directing combo. Uncut Gems. It is absolutely insane, and Sandler's acting performance, like, he should have been nominated for an Academy Award for it, like, hands down. And I'm a super snob.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And everyone else listening too, you should check out Uncut Gems and Jacksepticeye and Odd One Out and Star Saga and Suspicious Dishes. Check out everybody.
And Not Greg.
And Not Greg. Well, if they're listening to this, I suppose they currently are kind of checking me out. That sounds saucy. Please don't be checking me out. Fucking thanks for coming on, man. This has been really cool. This is actually our first time talking, like in person talking. Because we've only ever texted before. And this has been fun. Cool.
This has been a ton of fun.
We've been talking for an hour and a half, man. I feel like we could do another hour and a half, but I think that would probably be too much.
We genuinely could, I think. But probably for the podcast length.
Yeah, but we could do it again. You could come on and have a chat again. Fucking why not? Yeah. Don't forget everyone out there. Check out Suspicious Dishes. They're on hiatus at the moment, but they will be back, and they'll be making some awesome stuff again soon. So check them out. Subscribe. Also check out Not Greg as well, because I also like people subscribing. Yeah. I get very awkward plugging my own shit, man. I don't know what to say.
Oh yeah, me too. How about this? I'll plug your channel, you plug mine.
Okay, go. Lay it on me.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Hold on. You got to do it in the Australian accent, though. You started with the Australian accent. You got to do it at the end.
Right. Right. Thanks for listening, guys. Be sure to check out Not Greg Gaming. Absolute mad lad of channel. Uploads every single day. And I'll hand you over to Not Greg here.
You started off great with the right.
And in British, yep.
And then, you completely went British at the end.
Yeah.
Did you want me to do the Suspicious Dishes in the American accent?
Oh, for sure.
All right. So make sure you check out Suspicious Dishes. They're on hiatus at the moment, but they will be back very soon. So please check out Suspicious Dishes. Give them a like, share, subscribe, watch all their videos. Particularly the Hollow Knight review is one of my favorites. So go check that one out. Thank you so much, Ashton, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Was that okay?
Yeah, that was fucking brilliant.
Oh, shucks. Thank you, man. All right, bye, everybody.
Well, see ya.